All right.
So
We are live.
we are live. I'm gonna keep my phone on because we have someone coming to look at the daybed. She'll probably be here not too long from here. Not too long from now. Yeah,
Yeah, she said she's coming at what, 7:30?
yeah. So we got an hour. We have a lot of really cool Q&A questions from you guys that are coming in. So we're going to be doing some of that. But yeah, so long story short, with our daybed, we purchased it. Turned out not to go so much in here. So we're trying to sell it. And we got a really dope sofa coming. Hopefully it'll be here soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully she's
we don't know.
so excited with the daybed.
You what?
Hopefully she's so excited with the daybed or potential
Well, I mean,
buyer.
and we have it up for sale at a good discounted price, but I would just take anything at this point to get it out of here because we have guests coming this week and it just doesn't go. Like once we put everything together, it just doesn't match and
it's not cute.
it's just too big. But we want it to be accessible as a bed.
Right.
But the more we actually started taking this really serious and making this a legit podcast studio, because at first it was going to be like a spare bedroom, podcast studio.
Yeah.
But now that we've made it, pretty damn professional, we didn't
Can't
want
have a daybed in here.
we don't. Yeah, it's got to be, and then the color too, like gray.
It just doesn't.
The material. I don't know if you can see it on Alyssa's camera or not, but
And we were trying to dress it up with pillows and make
Yeah,
it
it
look
just doesn't
good, and
work.
just there was no saving it. So
and it's too wide.
it's way too
Like it's
wide.
for a twin to lay on, like a twin
Yeah.
bed thing to lay on. So hopefully she comes no matter what she offers. Like as long as it's not like ridiculous, like take it,
Take it. Really anything.
get it out of here. And then we'll see when we have a October 3rd to October 14th window for the new
I
couch.
know. Well, hopefully that'll come sooner than later, and if not,
Well, as long as it's empty out there, because the way I have your camera set right now, for those of you who are watching it, it's great. You see the curtains, you see the audio foam. It looks
Yeah.
great. It's zoomed in tight.
Which
But-
you did a great job, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, I crushed it there, putting up that audio foam, and it really helps with the sound, so that everything's really,
Yeah.
it's very studio-like. I'm pretty impressed.
I mean, it is a home podcast studio.
Yeah, it's been taking a long time to put together.
And today we went and kind of stocked the bar up a little bit. So if our
Yeah.
guests want something to relax them, help divulge their biggest, darkest, deepest secrets,
Yeah.
I'm into it.
And we'll see. I feel like most of them that we have scheduled and probably will have scheduled is going to be more of an afternoon thing. So it might not
Yeah.
be. But if we do any at like night or like a Friday or
Of
Saturday night, it'd be
course.
kind of cool to like have like a small glass of whiskey or something, like just to change up the vibe
Yeah.
of it. And
Whatever people want. Some people, it's interesting because they might sit down and go, oh, I want coffee, I want tea, I want to be
we
relaxed.
got it all.
We got it all. Or they might need something. Some people might get nervous. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you want to have anything for everyone.
Yeah, we want to be great hosts. We care very much about comfort. I went to the chiropractor 2 weeks ago, and she was incredible. Fixed my back in one visit.
She did.
Didn't try to upsell me either, which I was really excited about. Like, you know what I mean? Some people are like, all right, well, if you come back now twice a week for the next 8 weeks, then we'll get you. She was like, look, it looks all good now. You were just out a little bit from moving or whatever you did. She goes, it should feel good in 48, 72 hours, and if not, come back, but you should be good. Super affordable. Like, everything was great, but her whole setup was terrible. Like, she has a bigger business than what her office could
Yeah.
hold.
I had to wait outside when we went.
Well, and then I felt like weird because I was uncomfortable standing. Like, I really wanted to sit.
Oh, yeah.
But there was only five chairs, and there were like 7 people in there, and everyone's hurt. And then anytime like a woman would come in, I'd say, hey, do you want to have my seat? Then me and this guy kept on standing up, and it became this,
Aw.
hey, do you want my seat? And then they go, oh, no. And I'm like, I'm trying to do something really polite here. But they're being nice, saying, no, please sit.
Yeah.
And then another woman comes in, and at one point I was like, look, you can call me a D if you want, but I'm
Yeah.
not getting up anymore. And it was just all old-fashioned, but her work spoke for itself. But she was knocking out like person after person. It's like I'm surprised they haven't expanded.
You know, it's interesting. The chiropractor I'd gone to, as well as her office, just filled with people.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just helping so many people in and out, in and out. It's unreal. But when you're in pain, you really just, you do anything to get rid of it. And if these people can help,
Yeah.
it's great.
And she also took us in. She was the second person we called because the first person's like, oh, we can't get you in. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to wait till Thursday. I'm not going to wait 4 days in pain. I need it fixed today. And she even said that. She goes, yeah, we take everybody because you don't want to wait 3 days. And I said, well, that's great.
Yep. Even when I called for my orthopedic when I had that ankle issue, the receptionist was like, "I'm so sorry, we can't see you until next week." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine." She goes, "Usually people are in so much pain they got to get in right away, you know, because usually when it comes to something physical, you're like, please, someone help me." I know, I've been there.
I know.
But luckily, I was, fine, and now it's better.
And I also just wonder, too, though, is it really, like, we'd have to talk to somebody who's in that position and really ask, like, are you really that slammed that you can't fit people in? Like, do you have to turn people away? I guess that's just part of it because you don't have enough manpower. So I guess that makes sense. But, you try to accommodate. You try to put, it's like even when we went to get the couch, the couch that we wanted, we found in 3 different places. But we didn't want this vague... We'll get it to
online,
you in 1 to 3 weeks. I was like, well, can't we just call someone and just get it quicker? Like why can't we just have this?
Right.
Like we want it, like make it quicker. And the first 2 places, right? They were like, there's nothing we can do. And we're like, all right, we'll take our business elsewhere. And then the third place we called at the couch, they made it happen.
Yep.
So the other 2 companies lost all their business. And now we're not even going to plug the other 2 companies because they didn't go out of their way to help us.
But the one that did was House. Houzz, I think, is that?
I don't know. You were the one that got it.
House.
I watched this clip from Gary V's Ask Gary V show, and it was the owner of the Houston Rockets, I think what it was. And his whole clip was about, if you're in business, you have to be in the yes business. He's like, do you ever be at a hotel, breakfast ends at 11, it's 11:02, and you call down, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're no longer serving breakfast. He goes, people are paying money. Just say yes. Crack a couple eggs. Like, I hate that. That happens so much.
Yeah.
No matter what. Oh, we're so sorry. I'm in your hotel. I want to go to this dentist office. I want to go to this chiropractor. I want to go and get this. Say yes to me.
Business. Say yes and help, so we'll come back.
Like, why can't people go out of the way and make it happen? That's why I love Amazon. They're crushing the game. Yes. They have ruined shipping for everyone else. When I see even 5-day shipping, I go, what a joke.
We get upset.
I want same day or day after because I'm used to it on Amazon.
Well, and then today, you and I went out on a couple errands. We were trying to find some last-minute stuff for the podcast studio. We ended up, it was a bust because we could not find anything. And we spent, how long would you say we spent trying to find stuff? A couple hours?
Too long.
Too long. And it was a total waste of our day and our time when we could have just gone online, looked and found exactly what we wanted, probably on Amazon, would have gotten next day delivery, and now we still haven't even ordered it.
No.
Well,
they just didn't have anything. And then you run around and you just realize, too, just how tiring it is. There's just people everywhere. It affects your mood. And then people were insane out of their minds today with rushing. This woman was up my ass when I was trying to park. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to back in. Relax.
And she gave us such a nasty look.
I'm going to back in. It's practical.
Yeah.
Like, let me back in and you'll be on your way.
Hey.
People don't have patience.
And that's why, too, when we were looking for the sofa for this room, you had even brought up, you're like, well, should we go out? We live in LA. I'm sure there's so many great little stores that have sofas. But we thought about it and we Googled it and we're like, we might end up going out and about and then you don't find it. And then you come home and you're like, spent the whole day doing that.
And you don't have anything to show for it. And well, that's the only reason that I wanted to do it in person, though, is because I didn't want to wait 3 weeks. Granted, the most this will take is 2, less than 2.
Champagne problems.
Yeah, but, we're paying for it.
The world we live in, yeah.
So, that's why we want it. But it'll bring everything together, and then, we just want to have a good presentation because it is, yes, it's just a bunch of friends and some new friends that we're going to meet who are all going to be chatting. But if you can make a good impression, people are going to talk about you. It'll be word of mouth, and if they have a good time and feel comfortable and think it's awesome and they have some friends that are professionals or cool stories, they'll recommend, hey, you should have my friend on because they're going to feel like, hey, I had a great time here. I had water, I had snacks, I had tea, I was able to have a glass of wine. They were polite, they were on time, everything was set up. That's why we've been doing them too. It's like I want to keep practicing to make sure that the audio is always working, the camera's always working, the lights are already set up because I want it to be seamless. There's nothing worse when you have people over and it takes like 30 minutes. You're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they're like, I got to
Yeah.
So we want it to be seamless. So we really put a lot of effort into everything we do to make it the best that it can be because it goes a long way.
Blood, sweat, and tears, baby.
Yeah.
It's great, though. Everything's really come a long way. I'm excited. We have our first guest of the new season coming tomorrow, and then we have another guest the following day, and then next
We'll
week
probably get another one on Friday too. I was weird because you kind of play the waiting game because you're like, hey, can you come Tuesday or Thursday? And someone's like, no, but I can come Friday. Then you hit up the other person. You're like, hey, can you do this? But pretty much every day that I'm off from days between now and our break for Thanksgiving, or pretty much all the way up until maybe like a week before Christmas, we're going to try to do like as many as we possibly can.
Yep.
Because it's just such a good time to be doing it. And it's what we're going to be focusing on. Like, I'm so happy that we decided to do a 2-bedroom so we could have a studio, because I don't know what I would have done during my 3-month break coming up. The fact that I can do a podcast every day and spend my 2 to 4 hours editing and getting clips together for Insta and LinkedIn and all my...
We made the right decision.
We did.
Yeah, yes.
It was a really good decision. So, yeah, I don't know what we would have done. I'm not having people in the living room. You can't do a setup like this.
No. Well, and it's also nice too, because like even tonight when we wanted to come film, we just walk in, everything's ready to go. We didn't have to like tiptoe around a table and be like, oh, come on, let's get this set up. Like, it's ready to rock and roll. Yeah.
No, that's going to be good. But I just want to do that. And then we're going to be emailing some production companies. Those are like the 2 things I want to do during the time off or 3 things: fitness, podcasting, and then pitching this movie and get it sold.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we wrote a movie last year. We kind of shelved it because we decided to go with the book first, and we were just busy with everything. Finally got some time this year. We're like, well, let's put this back up in like the top 3 to 4 priority list and like get these meetings going. And then once it gets sold, it'll become number 1 priority with, days and the podcast and everything. But we wrote an ensemble comedy called Unplugged, and it's essentially a 10-year high school reunion where the president of the class who's putting it on wanted to do a twist where no one can use their internet, cell phones, or any latest technology for 48 hours, so that we're all forced to connect with one another and build relationships and new experiences and new memories in person without being distracted. And a lot of comedy ensues, a huge ensemble cast. And I felt we did that because I wanted options. Number 1 option, sell to a big studio. Mm-hmm. Option number 2, sell to a less big studio. Option number 3, sell to any distribution company.
Sure.
Option number 4, the raise your own money, go the Sundance, the festival route, but it's also an ensemble cast. But we did that on purpose, and it can be shot for dirt cheap if we wanted to self-finance and do it as well. And there's like 27 characters in total. 11 leads, heavy supporting, and then dope cameos, because that will be natural publicity, because all 27 people, when you add up everyone's followers that we would get, you would have everyone tweeting about it, everyone instaing about it, and that goes a really long way. Yeah. So we had all that in mind while writing it. So we have all these different avenues. So it will be made, but I want to be patient for a whole year and really give it an honest go.
Yeah.
And
find the right
aim
team.
The highest, because aiming the highest will instantly bring that new thing to our career. If you can get a script sold to a big company and then you're acting in it as well, producing it, it'll put us on the map in a different light.
Sure.
Which will set us up for, to go on that path.
So what would be really cool is, year and a half or so from now, come back to this podcast. You heard it here first.
That's true. But that's what's cool about documenting all this stuff, is that we're going to have some really cool things to come back to.
Yeah. We know we definitely have a lot in store and ahead of us to make this happen.
Yeah.
But I think the first step, obviously, is writing the script, which, hey.
That's done.
Done.
We got 2 great feedback notes on it. One of our friends who's attached and who's a producer on it loved it.
Yep.
Really enjoyed it, which made us feel really good, because we've written a lot, and I've written a lot in the past, and I never really passed any out to friends because I enjoyed them, but it was more like passion projects. This could go mainstream because of what it is.
Sure.
If it's like a bank robbing movie or something like that, it's kind of like, or some niche hometown indie. It's such a niche, like won't make money. Like, I wanted to aim high where it's like funny and everyone could enjoy it. And then we also had a production company the women who co-own it really enjoyed it. We're going to be taking a meeting with her, and she went to school for screenwriting, and she really enjoyed it. So we got two really good, very credible feedback points on it. But we knew it was really good. We weren't going to half-ass it. This is the one we wanted to call out all our favors for and really make it happen.
And I love, too, the genre of what it is, because I know for me, whenever I'm going, say, to Netflix and I want to just sit and watch something that's going to make me feel good, easy watch, comedy, you're always looking for those types of films, or at least I know I am, and a lot of my friends I talk to about different films, what's coming out. It just, there's nothing like an easy watch. You have a long day, you lay down, you go, you know what? This looks cool.
Yeah.
It's easy, it's fun. Because I love horror, I love dramas, all that kind of stuff, but it's not my first go-to. I've got to really be in the mood. Like, obviously, during October, love the scary movies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's throw that on. Wouldn't usually be my first go-to, even though I do like horror, especially with dramas, too. I feel like I have not been watching the dramas lately. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some good ones, but you can't go wrong with comedy because people always want to laugh.
Yeah.
But we also have some other ones in the can, that are dramas. But I think nowadays with so much reality, like you can go on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and be entertained for an hour. You can go on MTV, E, Bravo, watch reality shows, NBC, CBS, like all of them. It's like you have to really be in a mood for drama. But I also feel like some of the dramas, like it's like you already seen it. Like Sean William Scott's new movie, Bloodline. I was like, ooh, I love Sean William Scott. I've been a fan of him since American Pie. Awesome as Stifler.
So amazing.
I mean, that's the role of a lifetime. Like, he knocked it out of the park.
Killed it.
But it was like in the trailer, like, I think he just, like, he's, like, mentoring people who are in, like, abusive, like, households. And then he goes and, like, kills, I think, the people who are abusing the kids. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of like, okay. But, like, I feel like I've seen that movie. Yeah. Like, how many action movies have you seen where someone's wife gets murdered, or it's like the best CIA agent ever and he retires, but the company won't let him? So then the entire company through the whole movie is trying to kill him. Yeah. And he kills all of them, and it's dope. I just feel like we've seen
it already.
All those all the time, or even like the romantic comedies. It's like, put a new twist on it. Like, if you're going to run and you're going to be pushing each other while you're walking in the park and pushing ice cream in your face, like...
I've rom-coms.
Seen them all.
Totally. But that's why it's always important to bring a fresh, new perspective idea to these, ideas that obviously work. You know what I'm saying? But just think outside the box. The structure's
there.
Yeah.
But let's update it.
I feel like Hollywood is always doing so many remakes, more than ever. It's like, just come up with a couple.
But they work. They're built in.
I know.
Bad Boys 3. I'm there.
Well, that's different. Like, I mean remakes of movies, classics that were already made, and then they remake it, and it's like, meh, that's good, but don't touch the classics.
Yeah, I heard they're finally redoing a Wedding Crashers.
They're not redoing it. I think it's...
just like a 20 years later where they're going to be the mentors, maybe, to a new younger crowd, or like, younger kids.
That's such a classic, though,
It'll be Wedding Crashers 2. Most of the sequels don't hold up, but I'm willing to give them a try.
Of course. So we'll see. Well, do you want to get into some Q&A questionroonies?
Yes. Do you want to go first? I got some good ones here.
How about I ask you a question real quick before we get into it? Because this past weekend, we had a really incredible event, and I wanted to know what your favorite part was.
That was one of the questions.
Really?
That was one of the questions I got.
Wow.
I think it was the combination of what we were doing with the group we were with.
Yes.
When you just have like cool people riding rides.
It was so much fun.
Like just hanging out. And the temperature too was kind of interesting because the temperature was cooler than normal. Started off raining, but then it got good by the time we actually got there. So, but yeah, so for all of you who came out, thank you. We had a blast.
I think my favorite part, since you asked.
Yeah, what's your sorry, I was reading the questions, getting them prepared. I thought that one was just for me. Let me kick it back to you. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was by far learning a little bit of sign language. I did learn your name, and for some reason, I was having a little bit of trouble spelling it, but I want to see if I can remember it right now. Okay, so we've got Freddie. For some reason, the D I couldn't figure out, but now I can.
You have to get, it's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Like you never do that unless you're doing the sign language D.
I kept doing that, but would be what? Freddie. And Alyssa, Alyssa. It's so much fun. We met so many cool people from all over
the place, and Marty came by.
Yes.
Martsoff's awesome. I want to have him on the podcast. I want to talk about his podcast too.
I know.
So I don't know too much about it. I know he's doing it. It's called
Something for Dummies. So you know those books?
Yeah.
The Dummies.
So they do a topic.
Yeah, and each ep is a different topic, and I'd love to take a listen to it. I bet that's really interesting and informative, and he'd be a great host. Very entertaining. But yeah, your turn.
What's your morning routine?
My morning routine, I try to do this, is keep my phone out of the bedroom for at least like 15, 20 minutes. I like to get up, do a little meditation, think about what I want to accomplish for the day, write my gratitude list, have my coffee, and figure out the entire day pretty much, because I need a schedule, and I like to figure out, okay, what's the most important that I want to get done, and just kind of follow the schedule through the day. How about you?
I mean, mine, if I'm working at days, I wake up about 45 minutes to an hour before I got to leave. And when I go to days, I will eat breakfast because I feel like I need brain food for what I do for a living. So I'll have like an English muffin with peanut butter, and I have coffee regardless. When I'm off, I'll wake up, have coffee, but I'll hold out as long as possible to eat. So I'll fast longer because I don't, I just can't go with an empty stomach to work.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's all I do. Like I'll hop online, but I don't have anything too crazy.
I also like to check once I get my phone. I like to check certain apps like Astrology Zone, Time Hop.
Time Hop's really fun.
I know. Just fun little thing to see what's going on. Let me pull up some questions too, because I got some good ones.
While you're looking up, I'll just give a basic answer to this one. But I will give a longer answer in the future, but just because I want to get a lot of these questions in. Someone says, how did you get into acting? Long story short is I went to acting class in Cleveland for 6 months. I really didn't know what I wanted to do for school. My only other option is I was looking at YO-Tech, which was like an 18 to 24 month school that me and my buddy Spencer were thinking about going to, where you work on cars, but you go to school for like 18 to 24 months straight and you're done. And I really liked that. And then I came across the acting thing and then started taking theater arts class, and I was like, this is really great. And I essentially was just going to bet, like, do I go act or do I try to make it in baseball or basketball? And I just felt I had a better shot of a career with acting. So I went to class, went to a little acting competition, got some good feedback. And then 3 weeks after high school, moved out to Los Angeles, and I just was able to connect with people. I got an agent and manager really quick. 2006 to 2010 was like the hottest 4 years of auditioning. So I auditioned like 500 times, booked about a dozen things, commercials, guest spots, recurring, and then my big role from Days. And that's kind of where I am, and that's a under-minute story of my acting.
I was going to say, I love that's the short-minute story. You did well.
Yeah.
You got through that.
I wanted to add so many stories in there, but some other time.
He can do a whole podcast.
Yeah, on my whole journey.
Okay, how about this question? What's one piece of advice that you would love to give to your 15-year-old self?
Oh, man. These are great questions because they're good podcast questions. Because how about you? What would you give your 15-year-old self?
Buy Bitcoin in 2010 and sell it in December of 2017.
Yeah, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do.
Just be kicking it. Or, I mean, real talk.
No, that is real talk.
I mean,
you could have got it for a nickel.
Can you imagine?
Be a billionaire with just like 20 grand, 10 grand in.
That's insane.
Yeah. Missed that one.
Hey, in case we ever go back.
Yeah.
Time travel's real, now you know.
It'd be cheating though. like as much as I know what that, even a billion's ridiculous, but even if it was like, I mean, it really would have been that much money, but your life would be so extravagant, but it would be a completely different life. And it's kind of just like we've been working, we just talked about this August was 14 years that I've been pursuing acting, entertainment, content creation, 14 years.
Yeah.
And if I could go back and just switch it and get the big, because with a million, or even 10 million, 50 million, with talent, you can buy yourself success and fame. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're good with people, you're not a greedy dick. Like if you treat people well, be giving. Like we would do amazing things if someone gave us that kind of money. But I'm waiting for that moment. We've been working. When it takes off, I don't want to cheat that finally work paying
so
off
sweet
to go to the next echelon, if you will. So, but it'd be hard. I mean, I'd still do it.
Let's be real.
Yeah, we'd have a producer right now in a studio with a live audience doing this if we had that kind of money. I would travel the world and just give people money. Mm-hmm. All the nice people who go above and beyond. I'd like $10,000 tips every restaurant because I know what it's like to be a server. Like I would just give so much money, and I'd love to document it because it's so inspiring when kids pay off their parents' mortgages. Or you like, you know, like there's a lot of where you give homeless. I'd want to like help homeless people out, like help them out.
Yeah.
Like it's great when people give what they can, but like there's so much you could do with money if you would just all in on helping people.
I know.
So, but yeah, my 15-year-old self. I mean, I know the answer because it's but it's not what I would want because I am who I am today in this moment answering this question because of everything that I can't go back and change. And that led to me being here in this apartment, in this studio, us being here.
Yeah. I think it would just be to remember that this too shall pass because I feel like especially when we're younger, when bad things happen or something doesn't go your way, your entire world is just soaked in this moment thinking, oh my gosh, this is like life or death. And really, everyone moves on. Everything passes.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing's as serious as it seems.
And I enjoyed, now that I look back, that I had some ignorance and some naivete and the green, as they say in LA. I don't know if that just pertains to acting, but if you're green, you're new.
Probably green and everything.
Because it allowed me to have this like I'm a very not live in the moment kind of person. I can't really stop and smell the roses, but my ignorance and naivete allowed me to do that from like 14 to 22.
Yeah.
And now, you know,
But
I'm not, my head's in the
too.
clouds like, wow, like everything's going to work out. It's like, no, you better work. You better be a man of your word. You better hustle. People are going to try to take advantage of you. You're going to lose. You're going to fail. You need to stand back up. You need to learn from adversity. Like all that stuff was never in my head.
I even think too, in our mid-20s when we built our first business, in anti-aging, we had no idea how to do any of that. And we had the same kind of vibe of, oh, hey, you know, it'll all work out. And like things really went really well very quickly for us, but we didn't know, you know, how to, I guess, handle that.
Yeah.
And then we continued building other projects and other things, and we started learning, like, wait a minute, like...
Well, it got big, so it's like someone becoming famous too soon.
Yeah.
Like, our business grew so fast,
Yeah.
and we were responsible to lead so many... Like, it just got to a point where we just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, it happened all so fast, and that's why it was, like crazy at one point. But yeah, I mean, the typical answer is, like, if there's any 15-year-olds or anyone out there has kids, it's helping first of all, you need to figure out a way to get them interested in learning, because if they were like me, I did not like the way of learning in school, but I love learning more than anything now. Mm-hmm. But if you were to tell my 15-year-old self, like, learning's awesome, I'd be like, I don't want any more learning. This thing sitting here looking at the board all day and the clock is not for me. But I didn't know that there were things you could learn about yourself. Like, try to figure out how to tell your 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old son, daughter, try to find a cool thing for them to learn. No matter what it is, have their mind start learning something in a fun way, no matter what that is. If it's an instrument, if it's a podcast, if it's books. I just didn't work on myself at all. I just rode my pretty smile and charismatic self, and it kind of rode my wave.
Right.
But I didn't have any of these tools that I have now of emotional intelligence and perspective. And then also Teach your kids at 13, 14, 15 about money. Don't let them get into debt at 22 and then learn in the real world. Like when I'm a parent at 11, 12 years old, my kid is going to be cut off from everything, and there's going to be a list of chores, and they're going to choose how much they want to work. They're going to come to Papa and say, hey, I want the Xbox, but I only got $200. I'll say, I'll do a $200 loan at a 12.5% interest rate. Well, what's that, Dad? Well, I'm going to show you. And if you can't pay me, I'm taking the Xbox and I'm going to repo all your cell phone, everything. You're going to learn and cry when you're 14 when it's not real, instead of drowning when you're 23 and it's $115,000 in debt, a car you can't afford, you just got fired from your job. They need to learn those lessons from 12 to 17 years old when they're in the safety of their own home. There is no safety net once you're out of the house.
Yep. You're going to be a great baby daddy.
Yeah, but I have to make them know that it's cool. I can't just be like, no, you can't. Like, I'm going to trick them into believing it's really awesome to save money, invest, and do cool things with it, and then teach them sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to offer them when there's this big party they're dying to go to, the girl or boy they're just dying to go see, and they're so excited, and all their friends are going, and the thing they want, that car, I'm going to say, hey, I was like, tonight I actually need you to do this work in the house. It's $1,700 job. It's what you need for your car. Oh, but I want to go to the party. These are decisions in life you need to know. Do you want to go to the party, or do you want to stay here and get your car sooner? Got to learn sacrifice.
Those are great, fun, valid points.
It is, because guess what? Will they miss the party? Oh, you shouldn't take that away from your young self. No. They're going to have to miss the party when they're 26.
But let them learn
let
either
them
way.
learn now. Or, sorry, go ahead. I'll finish. If they're gonna go to the party, great. Then I want them to work the next 9 weeks to get that $1,700 that would have got them in a day. But let them work for 9 weeks. Be 9 weeks without the car. And then I bet you within that 9 weeks, they're going to say, oh my God, the girl I met at the party, we were going to go to the movies, but I don't have my car yet. I was like, you should have taken it. But that's a lesson. There's no winning and losing. Right. They win whether they get the car, or they win if they get the girl. Like, who cares? 5 minutes later.
I love it. I love your stories. And no, what I was going to say is very on par with exactly that. If the kid did decide, hey, I want to go to the party, they're going to learn that lesson anyway. So might as well learn it when you're young as opposed to older.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Perspective.
Perspective, baby.
Sacrifice. But if you're going to give up the money, if it's for the girl, it's always a good one.
Get the girl, baby. All right. Let's see.
Who asked that question? Did I ask you that?
I can't remember.
Did I hijack that? What was the question?
I don't know.
Oh.
Was that?
Advice for your 15-year-old self.
That went all the way back to that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Get that money. Get the girl. Do both.
Damn straight.
Here's a good one. Let me ask you, because I just did a lot of talking. What keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? I would have to say understanding the difference between motivation and discipline. It's being disciplined that keeps me motivated, because I'm not always going to be feeling like doing something. I'm not always going to wake up in the best mood, but if I'm disciplined, I'm going to fight through it. I'm going to listen to my music. That's like my number one tool. I talk about it all the time, and I find that it pumps me up, whether I'm trying to, finish writing something, whether I'm trying to get a workout in, editing, shooting, whatever it's going to be. It's staying disciplined, and that will continue to keep me motivated for the rest of my life. Because sometimes,
why do you stay disciplined? Why not just quit?
Because what's the point in that? Progression equals happiness. Anytime I'm not continuing to succeed and fulfill a goal, you're just kind of stagnant throughout life. Truly, like any time in my life when I see progress,
it's the happiest.
It's the happiest. And that is like a fact. Think about right now, anyone listening, when you are having progress, you're probably at your happiest. You feel good, you have a purpose, and every day you're working toward a goal. And naturally, that's just going to make you feel good. When I don't have goals, and that's why I was even telling you earlier with, my days, I like to schedule them out and figure out, hey, what am I doing first? What's the most important? Because if I do not do that and I have no structure, how am I going to stay disciplined? How am I going to stay motivated? How am I going to stay fulfilled as a human being? But I've always just loved having goals to chase. There's nothing sweeter than succeeding in that. What about you?
I mean, you covered it. I mean, I've diagnosed myself with a disease called chronic boredom, and I get bored very easily. So if I'm not constantly working towards something, the alternative is just like, we're just gonna do the same thing. Like, like I've lived in LA. We've lived in a 2-bedroom. We've drove this car. We've gone to this restaurant. We've watched this sporting events. And all that's amazing. But if it's that same thing repeated for 50 years, it just seems like, well, that's it. Like for me, I just go, well, I want more stuff. Like, what can I learn? Like maybe in 12 years I'll be surfing. Never done that. Like, I don't know. Like I just always want something new because it unlocks something in me.
Of course.
I'll go through like bouts of like, not depression, but I guess it is kind of when we're just like just stagnant. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, But we also too, I don't want people to get twisted because they see like a lot of stuff that we're doing. We also take a lot of time for ourselves. Like we're not the type that we work 16 hours every single day. Like we put in a solid work, we get things done, but we also like go to dinner, we watch TV, we watch movies, we hang out. Like we have a lot of fun for ourselves because we need that recharge. And anytime we're relaxing or we're somewhere, like you go to Vegas or you go to some hotel or you do travel, you go to that restaurant and it's $120 and you're like, I don't care. Like we're going to have fun and go to dinner. Those moments make me want to go tomorrow and work my 12-hour day amazing so that I can keep doing that. I don't want you and I going for drinks and dinner to be a once a month thing that we treat ourselves. Like I want to get to the point where if we want to eat out every single night, we can. If we want to go on vacation every single 3 months, we can. So I just always keep myself motivated by being like, what's the next thing we can continue to do? Because once you hit a ceiling, as much as you think like, oh, if I could only make an extra $20,000 a year, yes, that will solve all those problems. But then you're going to start coasting at that new level and you're going to want more.
Sure.
Because that's how you grow. It's not greed. It's you want to grow. But deep down, you need a goal. The best way to look at it is that you look at your past, I forget where I heard this from, but if you look at your last 5 years, how many books did you read? How many seminars did you attend? How much money did you save? How much money did you invest? How many goals did you achieve? If the answer is 0, what makes you think the next 5 years will be any different? You should be able to look back the last 5 years, and if you haven't, start now, so that in 5 years from now you can look back and go, oh, wow, I invested here, I saved this, I lost weight, or I learned surfing or Spanish or sign language, whatever it is. You want to look back and go, oh, but I would make a 5-year goal. For everyone out there, I'm telling you, you have to know where you're going to be in 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 90 days, 30 days, so that you can figure out what to do daily. Success is created in the day.
Yep.
We don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. I know where I want to be, but all I do is work myself back to what can I do daily that will give me the best shot of having my 5-year goal.
And that's why, too, I love looking at my time hop every day or rereading past gratitude journals because it gives me such perspective on where I was and maybe how far I've come or something I was really proud of and was crushing it. And that kind of gives me more motivation to go, oh, wow, like, let's keep grinding. Like, no matter which end of the spectrum it was, it just puts everything in a perspective.
Yeah.
I just love that.
And it's also, too, like, there's days where things aren't going well. I'm not practicing gratitude and I'm just bitching and moaning about things. And, I don't show it because I don't want to depress people. But there's days I just bitch and moan. And you'll go through a 3-day thing. But then I've also learned because of those moments to go, Freddie, it's only 4 days. You lost a week. You lost a month. Who cares?
Right.
So what? So, now what? If all goes well, we're going to live another 100 years. That's so much time.
Yeah,
for people in their 30s?
I know.
A lot of you don't believe it. I know the life expectancy has gone down for a lot of the reasons, but, like, it's all going to correct itself, and we're going to be fine.
Well, we just watched that show Explained, and they were talking about age.
Yeah.
And how they're like working on, obviously once they can figure out the actual disease of aging and what can kind of slow it down, they'll be able to have medicine for people every single day to take. It's crazy. I can't even.
Well, it is, but it's also kind of hard because it's such a topic that there's a difference of looking at it. Is the success for the humankind is how can you make the average human life go from 75 to 100 is a global success, where everyone from every part of the world has clean drinking water, has all the doctors. If that right there is a global win. But they're also, just like anything in life, they're going to have advancements that certain people who either research or have the financial resources are going to be able to hop on to these new trends of anti-aging internally, gene modifications, being stem cells down south are already like huge. The stories that we're hearing about that, but they're $30,000 per injection. But it saved people from like needing shoulder surgery. They go and get a shot of stem cells and their shoulders healed. There's a lot of medicine that will be available if you do the research, but there's also going to be a lot of people in the world that's going to be 10 times longer because, yet again, not everyone has the USA. We're in the top countries, we have access. So I think as a whole, it'll be amazing by the time we're 100 if that is the world's average lifespan. And then people who have access, if you can go even further than that, and stay longer. Or my biggest theory, which I believe in what Elon Musk is saying, I really believe it, that we will merge with AI.
I was just going to ask you that. Elon Musk is basically saying AI and humans will merge, correct?
Yeah.
So
well, we already are. He's like, we already are a cyborg. Our phone is with us all the time.
It's true.
And we have access. I can't remember. I think it was him that said it. We have more access. Whoever said it. We have more power. Everyone who has a cell phone has more power than the president of the United States did in the 70s at our fingertips.
Isn't that powerful?
You know how much this would cost to broadcast? You know how much this cost us? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's wild.
This would cost tens of thousands of dollars to record and distribute things in the future, or the past. But yeah, I think we're going to merge. And he already has Neuralink, where there's an AI machine. They're testing it out on mice that they're putting. Like you don't have to go. I think you have to go under, but they put these little what are they called? I don't know. I didn't look into it, but there's where it's able to like read what your mind is thinking and be able to output it, and we can be able to think what you want to Google and it'll do it. Like but it'll make us a whole new species if that can successfully be done in the next even 50 years.
Yeah.
Because we'll be able to think it and know everything Google knows.
Gosh, that's crazy. Sometimes I'm not kidding you. I really do feel like I'll be thinking about, something I need to buy or whatever it may be. And I pull up my phone and I'm on social media and I see it. I'm like, I didn't even say this out loud. Like, I swear it freaks me out. I mean, I probably at one point was
You've
Googling
Googled it or something. Yeah.
But it's unreal. And I know you had a video you posted, I think, on Instagram about
Did you watch it?
No.
We hear enough of each other all day.
But I think I watched it like a long time ago. But I don't mind. I think it makes it easier. If you can send me something with a discount of what I want and you can put the discounts in front of me, like, let's go. I don't mind. Just don't look at me through my video.
That's what I was saying. I think most people, I didn't read all the comments yet, but I think most people, agreed that, hey, if they're going to put products in front of you that we're already looking at, like cool stuff, Yeah. Like my example was days. It's like, wouldn't you like to know if I was going to be in Arizona in your hometown rather than not knowing? And just because you end up liking the Facebook page or however that works to gather that info.
Right.
But the problem with Facebook is what they were doing for like when they were organizing groups that are conflicting. And then like whether it was Russia or whoever else was, you can create accounts and then target them to go to Burbank Studios and have two groups that are opposing both meet so that they're across the street from each other. And it starts this huge riot because they're, I don't want to bring up any specifics, but you know what I mean? Like they're for X, they're for Y. And it's like these groups were created and then people used Facebook ads and Instagram ads to market to like these different groups to get them there, but they did it on purpose to create conflict. That's when it's the problem. So there are negatives to it, but if someone just wants to sell some sneakers
that I was already looking up, give me a link that's going to give me a little percentage.
Or I found a cool invention that helps school teachers do X, Y, and Z, and I can make cool creative videos and just advertise it and put it in the news feeds of all school teachers, everyone wins.
Well, and that's why, too, I really do love influencer marketing, because there's so many times that I wouldn't know about something unless it was like I saw it on my Instagram because someone that I follow was genuinely talking about it. And I only follow people that I trust, and I, know that they would never, because, like, weren't you listening to, who was it, Casey Neistat? I can never say his last name, Neistat. And wasn't he basically mentioning that he turned down a really big deal because
He didn't believe in it.
Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of people that I like to follow because I know that I can trust what they're sharing, But there are so many great things, like especially being a female and loving fashion and style, and I'll see certain things that have great deals through, different people that I follow. And I would have never known about it. It's just like having like a girlfriend or a guy friend, whoever it is, and that word of mouth in person, belly to belly, like, hey, like this, I love this. It's always great. You got to go see that. It's the same thing, but now we have social media, so I don't have to leave my house.
It's way better. But but there's also people who, yet again, the reason is that if a commercial has 30 seconds and you don't know who this actor, unless you get like a famous actor, but then they're paid for that commercial. Like Jen Aniston is paid for Aveeno. And so you see her on there and you're like, okay, well, she has brand equity. So when I see her, I believe more in Aveeno. But I also know she's being paid. But if she was on Instagram or she had a podcast and I fell in love and she was helping me with parenting or she was helping me with fitness and like she was adding all this value to me as Jen Aniston, the person, not the actress. And I was like, wow, she has helped me so much in my life. She gave me great apps, all this stuff for free. Now she's talking about this great product that is going to penetrate me more than seeing Jen Aniston sell Aveeno cream on TV.
100%.
So, but it's just the platform.
Yep.
That's the difference. And there are people who are influencers. God bless them. I was watching. You know how if the sound isn't on, like on your stories. But I was watching somebody. I won't say their name, obviously. But I was watching somebody just by their face and what they were doing in the video, because I watch them all the time. I go, they're selling something right now. And I watched it and watched it and watched it. I was like, but there's no product, there's no tag. I'm like, Then all of a sudden, this person brings the product in, and I hit the on button. I knew by the way, because like they're not experienced yet.
Yeah. It's
so amazing. When we went to the Vid Summit 2 years ago, which by the way, there are tickets. It's this month. We really should go, but I don't know. But anyway, when Sean Duras told us that whole story about that app, and he was saying you have to make that your product the hero of the story, and he told this whole story, and at the very end he goes, well, the app's not real. But he told an organic story that made the app that he was helping sell, and it wasn't like, hey, everyone, this is an iPhone, and it's fast, and you can make calls and text. People don't want to do that. They want to hear these stories of like...
Storytelling is king. Yeah. If you have a business or a product that you're trying to get out there, you have to know how to storytell. Even every day on Instagram, if you're a business, you got to storytell your day, what's going on, why are people watching you, why are they interested? You got to document everything, and it really is a skill, that you have to intentionally work on, and think about the people that you follow or businesses that you like. They're always telling stories, and it's now more than ever so important, because it's all through everything. Media is everything.
It's always been.
We even are on TikTok, and you really get into this app like the second you start watching. And it's 15-minute clips of just people telling...
Second, yeah.
Or 50... What did I say? 15-minute? 15-second clips. It's late. Sorry, guys. And, you just get right into it. They're telling stories. It's either funny, it's interesting, it's entertaining, inspiring, whatever it is. And it's so quick that you're on to the next.
It hooks you for like an hour. Yeah, we're dabbling in it. I'm super...
Literally just started.
Yeah.
It's fun. It was actually, if you've heard of it, it's more for, or it started for the younger generation.
Heavily young. But so was other platforms for a while.
Yeah. But I'm seeing more and more they're trying to get older demographics over to TikTok, so we're playing with it.
Whoa, what just happened? Where are all these?
Just go to the actual story and you swipe up. How about this one? Who can hold their liquor better?
Sorry, bitch. I don't know. We're equal.
We're pretty even.
Yeah. We're seasoned. So I feel like
I just always know if I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Like, don't drink anymore.
I think people who drink like more, like randomly could have more issues because they're, you know what I mean? But if you've like partied and hung out and gone and had, like, if you're familiar with drinking, you know what not to mix, you know to have a full stomach, you know when you're feeling a certain way that you stop. Like, we learned all that young.
Yeah.
Like now,
the older
like we don't get
the more rules we have. Eat before.
Well, because it sucks being sick. Like, I'm not gonna.
No, I agree.
Because my biggest thing is I was like, I don't even want to be remotely hungover anymore for anything.
No time for it.
Because I don't want to lose from those experiences.
Yeah.
Like, I should be enjoying X, but because I decided to have 3 more drinks than need be, now I don't get to enjoy that thing that day.
Yeah.
So like, it was just over time we just matured with it, but we had no limits at 22, 23. But now we're just responsible and we have like just fun with it, how it should be.
Yep. Drink responsibly, kids.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still using the Lose It app. I don't use it to track my daily because I pretty much know my calories. I do it in my head, but I do use it to see how many calories I'm allotted. And I didn't do a big thing. I was almost going to do a 90-day run publicly, but I was like, I'm not going to do it again. But I have in the past 3.5 weeks lost 12 pounds.
Heck yeah, you have.
So I just been watching
about 6.5, 7?
Yeah. So we just cut out the calories, started moving around more. And so I'm sticking my allotted amount's 1,650. So I'm having 1,650 calories a day. So I want to lose another like 10. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do that in the next month and a half. A month would be ideal.
You're doing great though.
Mm-hmm.
It's that whole thing because I saw it. I think it was on Instagram, and they were basically saying how when you bring your dog to the vet and they're overweight, they say, okay, so you need to exercise the dog more and feed him less. And the same thing goes for humans. They don't say, hey, try this diet, do this craze, do X, Y, and Z. It's just literally less calories, exercise more. So that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's been working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy we're not in that industry because like fitness and health,
it's hard.
Like you're just always like pitching people on why your way is the best, and it just seems tough because I just think everyone's body's different, and I think whatever you can stick to, you know, because we started off, I was like, I'm just going to do keto again, but then I find myself like sacrificing, and I was like, maybe we should do the calories because I lost 30 pounds last year doing the calorie counting. But you know, we hear about all of them, but we've done keto and paleo, and then like I also intermittent fast on my days off, like not for the reasons like scientifically that I do, but I do it just because it's easier for me to do a lower calorie count till 5 because I know, like right now, like after that beer, that's in the freezer. Let me go grab that. But after this beer, I'm still gonna have 600 calories left, and it's 8:00.
And we haven't had dinner though.
So exactly, but I love eating less all the way till 5 or 6, so that I know I have enough calories at night. I wouldn't want to blow my calories by 7, and then I'd be all weird for 5 hours. Well, let me go get these because they're in the freezer.
Get them. I feel like at night too, that's when we really want to eat. You know, we're just always ready to have a snack, and if we're unwinding and watching a little bit of TV, it's kind of when we want our snacks. You know what I'm saying? I feel like during the day, when I'm busy, I'm out and about, it's just a lot easier to not think about food and what I'm eating next. Wow, look at that
crispy.
Is an ice
beer
cold
freeze? It fucking froze,
no,
dude.
Slushy. Cheers. I think mine's still there a little bit. Nerd.
Epic fail. Well, I bet you the ones in the... Oh, yours is good? Let me let mine just sit here.
It's like a slushy. That is... Here, try.
God.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So good.
I'm gonna let mine like chill for a sec.
So let's take a few more questions, and then I think we've been on quite some time.
Yeah, we've been on for over an hour. Here's a. Have you ever dealt with performance anxiety? What do you mean? In what field?
Oh my god.
You want to take that one first? Do you ever feel like you get anxiety?
You know, to be completely honest, I grew up my whole life on stage and doing theater, and I loved it so much. I mean, it really was a huge part of my life. And because I was passionate about it, it didn't bother me.
Hey there, Heather.
Oh my gosh, don't. There's this song on TikTok from Mean Girls, the musical.
Heather. What's her last name?
Martha Dumbtruck in the
Martha
Flesh.
Dumbtruck? Where am I getting Heather from?
Because the girls' names are Heather. I think it's from Mean Girls, the musical.
Martha
yeah.
Dumbtruck in the flesh.
Here comes the cootie squad. You should shut up, Heather. Sorry, Heather.
Hello, Heather.
That's when you put in.
Hello, Heather.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, yeah, so I've always loved being on stage. Now, however, especially when it came to singing, I would definitely get really nervous about that, going out there. But for me, talking, podcasting, speeches, acting, whatever it might be, it doesn't really bother me. And I think sometimes, like, you might have a few, like, good nerves if it's something new with a new team, a new partner. Like, I'm sure for you, we were talking about this the other day. If you're working with someone new on set, you have a different feeling. Not that it's nerves per se.
Did I tell that to somebody, or is that on this or the first podcast?
I can't remember.
I think it was in person to somebody, right? I think it was at our event Saturday. We told somebody that.
Sure.
We're repeating the same stories.
Come back to the Freddie and Alyssa show, guys.
Yeah, you'll hear the same stuff every week. Yeah, I would say like you know, I don't know. Like once you practice it, it's just kind of.
I think
I don't really not at days anymore.
I was gonna say, imagine this: you've done days 8 years. You never really get nervous. I mean, you can study right before actually shooting. You do one take, but imagine if, you know, you got hired for a big new movie and you're opposite of Mark Wahlberg and Will Smith. You shooting those first initial scenes the first day, you might go like, oh God, I got some nerves.
It depends on the vibe.
Like who it is.
It depends on how they make me feel, how, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's certain times if you're in a group of, I think someone like yourself, I feel, like, what do your nerves come from? My only nerves is that I'll pass out live. That's it. I never worry about, if there's a teleprompter, like I hate reading, but I would do that. I can always improv. Like that's never my thing. It's like, as long as my legs, but it's always the fear
Yours
moving.
Yours is more physical. You're afraid you're going to pass out, throw up, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Mine has always been, and I don't know why, but I don't want to forget the lines or whatever it might be. Now, granted.
So that doesn't bother me at all.
You can improv, but like I used to go up there doing like full length plays or musicals and going, oh my gosh, what if I forget this song lyric, or what if, and like, of course it's happened and you just continue through it.
Yeah.
And no one watching ever knows. If you mess up, no one in the audience is going to know that line was messed up.
Yeah.
Now, if you're shooting something, I know days is a little different because you guys get one take sometimes too if there's a big mess up, but you don't want to be the person costing money going, hey, I got to do it again. I get where that pressure would come from, but I just never wanted to forget stuff. That's why I love teleprompters, because I can read all day and just whatever is up there, I have no care in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'd be nervous on another, like, Days has set me up for...
Great boot camp, man.
Like, dude, I'm going to get 27 takes with Mark Wahlberg for my 3 lines. I'll be fine. I do 17 pages in 22 minutes.
Well, don't you have like 4 episodes on Monday?
I have 4 next week. 2 on Monday, though.
My bad. That's crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know. But as soon as you go out on stage, your nerves go
No, it
away.
goes away, yep.
It's weird. I think even singers say that. Like you have pre-jitters, and then as soon as you hit the stage, for me, it was always when we were speaking, it was just getting that first laugh, and then you kind of like everything just settles in, and that's why I'd be interested in the future of dabbling with stand-up and doing open mic, like in 5 to 10 years maybe, or maybe sooner or later. But like,
I'd love to see
I would
that.
love to just go up there because I'm prepared at a point now in my life that I would understand going to an open mic for 5 minutes. There is no embarrassment. I'm going up there to try the 5 minutes, and if I get one laugh, that's the one joke that I take to the next open mic.
Yeah.
Where when I was 21, I had nothing funny to say, I feel. But then also I would have been so devastated, like I had to win. But now I would literally go up there and just tell the jokes, be like, all right, thank you guys, this one's the winner, and then take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's way easier said than done. Comedians are probably like, listen, bro, you're going to feel like an asshole when no one
You're gonna
laughs.
hate
Don't
it.
think you're going up there with a notebook, bro. No, but that's on my bucket list. Like, I don't know if I would ever do it, like, seriously, but I feel
Never
like
say never.
it seems really, but I have to find my voice, and I need to do what I heard Eddie Murphy. I think it was Eddie Murphy. Was it him that said it? Yeah. I make people laugh in life. I need to write that down instead of trying to sit down and go, what's funny?
Yeah.
When I'm funny, I should write down. When I get you to laugh or someone to laugh,
I've always told you
write
should carry
that,
around
because
a
that's where my
notebook.
comedy comes from.
Yep.
If we sit down and write for a movie, I can be funny.
Mm-hmm.
If we can, in conversation, if something comes up, I'll be funny. If I have to sit down and do a stand-up, I'm always blank. I'm like, what's funny? I need to start writing it down.
Well, I think with comedy, especially the type of comedy you would do, the funniest thing is situational lifestyle stuff, things that happen. If you really think about what we laugh at, it's because we understand what this comedian has gone through, whatever story they're telling. You can imagine what it would be like, or someone who's like that, or whatever it is. It's all situational. So the more you live, that's why some of these comedians, I mean, like, I feel it. I get it.
Like I was listening to Sebastian Maniscalco. If none of you have seen Sebastian Maniscalco, you have to check out his specials. They're on Netflix. He is so funny. And my mom, I knew, would love him. And to get her like howling like that,
Didn't he host the VMAs?
He did. I didn't watch that, but he did a 5-minute spot on Fallon the other day, and he was just saying, I go out with my in-laws, and he goes, anytime we're at a restaurant, he goes, I never sit down because I know we're gonna move. He's an Italian guy. He's like, it's gonna be, there's too much traffic.
Oh my
But
god.
he just talked about his thing. He goes, and the food, it's always going back. But so it's just like telling stories.
It's
But he's
situational,
got
you know?
his, like that whole, like he found his. He sold out Madison Square Garden 3 nights in a row.
Wow.
60,000 people.
And wasn't some other comedian giving him flack for doing the VMAs? I understand.
It was on Rogan's podcast. They
Yeah.
were saying he's awesome. Like, you're selling out Madison Square Garden. What are you doing the VMAs for?
Getting the younger demo, though.
But
If it weren't for you,